All right, welcome back to the Fly on the Wall podcast. Today I am with Heather Evans. She's an indie artist, musician. Do you write all your own music and everything too, right?
I do.
So
I write and record my own music, so pretty
so
fun.
you are just a multi-talented lady.
I try, I try.
All right, so we're gonna get started, but first I have to do this for a friend of mine. So here we go. We're proud to have this podcast sponsored by Donut Punk Apparel. If you, like me, are into fun, colorful 90s nostalgic apparel, then you've got to check out Donut Punk at donutpunk.com. I love the shirts. I saw the brand on TikTok and it's just blowing up there. It seems like everybody there is wearing them. So I ordered one and now I'm part of the cool kids and you can be too. There's a new Jurassic Park inspired shirt that just dropped about a week and a half ago. And you've got to check that one out. It's really cool looking, a little bit of a tie-dye effect. And yeah, it's my favorite design so far. So I have to get that shirt too. Donut Punk is nostalgically baked apparel that you can find now at donutpunk.com. One more time, that's donutpunk.com. That's that. I did a thing. I'm figuring out the whole Stream Deck thing and everything else to go with this podcasting biz. So
much fun. You're doing it though. You know what? That's half the battle is people don't even try,
I think that's half the battle with anything is that mentally, like sometimes I'll just lay there and typically when I'm about to go to sleep, I have all these great ideas.
Yes.
And then I'm like, oh, it'd be really cool if I did this and this and this. And then typically it just kind of fizzes away because you go to sleep and you forget. And sometimes you have to write it down. So I don't know, like if you're in your writing process, like you'll be about to go to sleep or you have an idea and you have to write that idea down.
Yes. Yeah. Honestly, my voice memo app has saved me so much. Like I have probably 500 voice memos of just song ideas or lyric ideas that I'll just say really quick and then come back to later and finish it out. And honestly, that's how most of my songs start out is through the voice memo app. It's so funny.
Honestly, you're not the only one that does that. I know a few musicians. I said that right. I said because earlier I was saying magicians.
Oh my gosh. Well, we kind of are magicians. Come on.
No, so magic. a lot of my friends do that. They're like, yeah, hold on. I have a thought. I have to get it in here. And then they produce amazing music. So
I did that today. Like literally, I right before this, I thought of this idea of like, you got to have one person to believe in you. I guess that one person's me. Because it has a lot of time. Yeah. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's such a clever idea. And so I recorded it into my voice memo app really quick and like had a melody and everything. And I was like, that is such a cute, clever idea for a song. And so I'm probably going to make that into like a fun little pop song about believing in yourself, So
awesome. That's a good message too.
Yeah.
Everybody needs more of that. But like we were saying, getting anything started, like you got to take that first step. So
yep.
For you in music, how long have you been making music?
Well, I started when I was 12 years old, probably even before that, just like singing little songs and writing poetry. I think I started writing poetry when I was in 3rd grade. And then I won a poetry contest. My 3rd grade teacher got me into this poetry contest and I won. And I was like, oh, I guess I can write. And so just as a teenager, I started filling up journals full of just poetry. And then I got a guitar when I was 12 years old and kind of as a competition with my older sister, she started playing first. And then I was like, I'm going to play too, because
I'm not going to be outdone.
Yeah, I'm going to play the guitar and be better than you. And then I actually kept playing guitar and she quit. And I started putting my poetry into music and just started singing out melodies with the lyrics that I was writing. And I didn't realize that I was a songwriter at the time. I'm just like, oh, I've just got these lyrics and I'm going to put some melody behind it. And at 15 years old, my dad got me studio time at a local studio. And it was for my 15th birthday. And he's like, I just want to listen to your songs in the car, Heather. Like, go
Oh,
in the studio and do your thing.
that's so sweet.
And it's really cool because those songs that I started recording when I was 15 ended up being on MTV's Laguna Beach, like Nickelodeon South of Nowhere, all these like teen breakup dramas.
Wow. Wow, that's not a bad deal. So it worked
Right?
for you. That's
I
awesome.
was like, it's so crazy. And it took my dad like really believing in me because I was an insecure, depressed teenager, I guess, like pretty typical
Yeah,
teenager.
pretty typical stuff, you know.
Yeah, just didn't believe in myself.
Yeah.
And but my dad, he believes in me. And even as I got older, he was like, Heather, you need to be doing this music thing full time. This is what gift that you have.
Hey, this is what you need to do. Do it.
And I'm
Oh,
like,
that's awesome.
really? Okay. Because most parents are like, you know, do the typical thing. But he's like, this is your typical thing. You know what I mean? You were gifted in this way. Go after it. And
Well,
I have.
it sounded like from a young age you were just, you know, poetic in your head. You know, so the fact that you were finally putting it down on paper, and then you figured that I can put music to this too. You know, that's special because I didn't have that.
Yeah. It's
I
crazy.
didn't have that at all.
My family, they're kind of big dreamers like me. I definitely have the dreamer, the wall. That's my maiden name, the wall dreamer, like entrepreneur, can figure it out themselves kind of a thing. And I think that's really helped me in my creative journey because I've had to like reinvent myself several times, you know,
Well,
over the years.
That's just evolution. So that means that you're learning from the past, and it shows in the music. Because I was listening to your album that you put out in 2012.
Oh my gosh. Was that For My Generation or?
Yeah, I think it was.
Like
it was
kind of indie rock.
Yeah, and then you put a new album out in 2020.
Yep.
That is completely different.
Yes.
And then you put a banger out.
Yep.
Monster. I love Monster. Oh my God, I love that song. It's so good.
Yeah.
And so when I heard that, I was like, I need to talk to her. I need to talk to her. Good Lord, you're gonna blow up. It gets in the right hands. It's going.
Justin, listen to this. So that 2012 album, I think that I was being influenced by the music scene that I was in Columbus. I'm in Columbus, Ohio, by the way. Woo woo. I was in Sacramento for 5 years and we just moved back to Columbus, my hometown. But I was in this music scene in Columbus that was very indie and cool. And I was trying to be indie and cool and sort of tried to do the music that everybody else was doing here. Like 21 Pilots came from here.
Oh yeah, I've met them too.
Yeah, and
there's a lot of talent that comes out of Ohio.
Yeah, I played a show with Tyler when he was a teenager, and Josh was at a concert that I was playing, you know, and I met him there before they were ever together, or 21 Pilots. And then there's some other really cool bands coming up out of here. And so in that 2012 album, it wasn't necessarily me, but I felt like it was what, I don't know, I was trying to fit in or something. Yeah, and I realized
you're trying to conform.
Yeah. And I realized, you know what? I don't need to put myself in a box. I want to just like chase down, I call it chasing the white rabbit, which is like chasing your inspiration, chase it down, whatever it is. So that dark pop song, The Monster, that's what I was feeling in that moment. Like that feeling of, you know, the monster is the thoughts and our self-deprecating, like, you're not good enough thoughts. And I was feeling that in the moment. And then, you know, whatever song comes next is usually coming out of the situation that I'm going through at the time. So I've let myself just go for it.
It's a good place to write from. And your last one, that one did, I love that song.
Me too. I'm like,
a fan of that song.
So good. Yeah. And the people that worked on that are like top notch industry folks. They're like mixing big records and stuff. So I'm like, ah.
That is so awesome. So when you're not writing music, or do you have any hobbies that keep you inspired or anything like that?
Gosh,
You like to bake,
yes.
cook?
I I don't really like to cook. You know what? My husband is better at cooking than I am. And my son, he's 10. He loves to cook, but that's not really my thing. I'm like, oh, anything with photography, videography, like, so I love directing.
Oh, awesome.
So I've directed a couple of my music videos that are like storylines, you know what I'm talking about? And I hired a real actress one time and was like co-directing the whole video idea. So I love video, and like directing. And I also like write children's stories. So I picture myself being an 80-year-old, that's what I'll probably be doing. I'll be writing like children's books. That's my end game. That's awesome. When I'm done with music and I can't play anymore or sing anymore, I'm going to be writing children's books.
Do you draw?
Somewhere. No, I'm not really great with visual, like drawing and things, but
you're definitely a storyteller.
yes, I
can tell that through your music.
Yeah, I love telling like little stories, and my kids love it too. So
the one thing that goes with the 2 albums I've listened to is that they flow. It's like,
yep.
You know, one bit of the story to the next bit to the next bit. And
yep.
There's a lot of artists out there that they put out a few good songs, but it's not like a storytelling album. You remember when you'd buy an album,
right?
And you'd put it on and you would listen to like the entire first side.
Yes.
You know, and then you'd want to flip it over and then listen to the entire second side. And then they started making CDs and you just kind of skipped over the songs you didn't like.
Right. You're like,
and it's like, oh, skip. I don't like that one. Yours, I can listen all the way through.
Oh, that means a ton. Thank you.
That says, you know, it's my opinion, but if I can listen to an artist and their music and it flows and it tells a story and it's just one right after another, it shows a lot of effort on your behalf. And it means a lot for the listener.
Yeah.
You know, there's not a lot of that anymore.
I agree. And I think the reason why I always get these really specific concepts, like, and I'll get the whole concept for the song idea of like what's happening in the song. And then I'll get like a photo shoot idea that goes with the song. And then a video idea that goes with the whole theme, and try to really like have cohesive themes in my songs. And I think it helps too with like describing what's happening in the song and creating, like you said, like an escape or like a moment that you can picture yourself in. So yeah, that's super encouraging, Justin. Thanks for,
no problem. I mean, so I found you on TikTok, much like everybody else I talked to.
I love TikTok. Oh my gosh.
TikTok is interesting. You can love it or hate it, but the communities that are in there, like I find a lot of photographers, a lot of musicians, and I reunite with a lot of people that I've shot over the years.
Yeah.
And they're like, I totally remember this, and I can bring them back to that moment or share a photo that I've had.
Yeah.
You know, it's really hard otherwise because you're on Instagram or you're trying to get through the label or management, and it never gets seen. Whereas TikTok, you know, you post a video, it's like, I like that. Hey, let's talk. And, it's almost instantaneous. So how's that been for you?
It's been really fun, honestly, like to see. I just jumped on because everybody did, you know, and I heard that musicians were really getting seen and heard there. Yeah. And that was something that I've been feeling frustrated with Instagram and Facebook. I still love you, Instagram and Facebook, but the algorithm, I have like, I don't know, almost 4,000 followers on Instagram, but like 20 people see a post or like a post or interact with a post. And it feels frustrating, but I feel like TikTok is a new thing where you're interacting with a ton of people that you don't even know. You know what I mean? It's just so cool. Like to be able to find artists in that new way. It's the new way that people are finding out about music. And And I'm finding so many cool musicians that I'm a huge fan of. And I made like my own TikTok playlist of like my favorite TikTok artists, and it's so much fun.
Jacob, we can see you through the
Oh,
curtain.
I was gonna say hi. Oh,
He's
so
gone.
much fun.
He's gone now.
I didn't realize you were in one right now. My bad.
Yeah.
I love it.
I
I love
said
it.
I'm talking to myself.
I seriously, that could happen to me. So just be looking.
Some little ham behind you.
Yeah. Oh, all the times my kids get in on everything. I've got like a 6-year-old little girl and then a 10-year-old boy. So
See, I've
they're a
got
part of everything I do.
a
I'm like,
19-year-old boy and a 23-year-old boy.
that's
So
awesome.
one's in the
That's
army
cool.
and the other one's dancing on the stairs or doing something. So
I love it. Love it. So much
but
fun.
yeah, back to TikTok. I was happy to see like when it was just a couple weeks ago, even bands like Secondhand Serenade and We the Kings, and a lot of older indie bands that came out. When I started
Yeah.
photography, I was like, holy crap, I have pictures of you've never seen. We
That's
need
so
to talk.
crazy. That's so crazy. Did you reconnect with them, or?
I did.
That's neat. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Like I said, it's really hard to keep in contact. And when you go to shoot a concert,
is.
you're not like, hey, can I get your phone number? I'm
can't
the
do that,
photographer.
yeah.
And you're like, that's just distasteful. So, hopefully, you reconnect over time, and so TikTok's been a great tool, for me
It has, yeah.
personally. And I found you, and I've listened to all your albums, and I'm just like, I don't know why you're not getting more attention.
I don't know. Well, you know what? It's a matter of time with that TikTok, I tell you, because I sound like an old woman with that
tell you
whole
what, that
TikTok. I
TikTok.
tell you, well, like, because, I like posted a couple of videos that who knows why it went, but all of a sudden I get 200 followers overnight, and I'm like, why was it that video? I don't understand.
It doesn't make any sense. I've got a buddy that
It's hilarious.
it took forever for him to get verified, and then he'll post a
Yeah.
video, and then he's like, it's just not doing well. And then he'll be like, I just threw this one up there and it gets like 40,000 views.
It's true. There's no
He's
rhyme
like, I
or
don't get
reason
it.
to it, but it's fun. It's so much fun, and it is playful. And I think we need that. We need like a more playful app that isn't so serious, and like you get to know people, and it's
Yeah,
community
you can block the
oriented.
people that are too serious,
Exactly. Yeah.
and then you don't
that's
have
what I
to see
do.
any more of that content.
Yeah. I'm kind of silly. I'm gonna be real. Like on my TikTok, I allow myself to be silly and show like a different side of myself,
See,
because
that's kind of
like me and my husband, we did like oh my gosh, what's it called, Brett? He's down here. The musicians of, or no, Married to a Musician. Hilarious. So relatable to all the musicians out there. If you're married to a musician, you're gonna relate to it. You know what I mean? So it's just so fun. I'm like,
So
I
is
love
your primary instrument guitar?
yeah. So acoustic guitar is my primary instrument. I also play piano too, a bit. Like, I don't think I'd ever perform with piano, but I write a lot with the piano.
I get that.
So yeah,
I need somebody to write an intro for me badly. At some point, I need to find somebody to do that.
Yeah.
So,
Well, hey, that's what I do. I
yeah,
write.
Maybe we can work something out.
Yeah, I'm like, that's what I do. I actually wrote I don't know if you like, I wrote the intro for the Made in California podcast. It's like the state of California's podcast for entrepreneurs. Like,
Well, that is a
so cool.
small flex.
Yeah, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so cool.
Like for the entire state.
For the whole
I
state.
wrote that.
From the governor's office, they like saw me play at a So Far Sacramento show, and they're like, hey, would you write our theme song? And I was like, sure, I'll do it.
Yes.
And then they needed it by that Friday. It was Monday. They needed it by Friday. And I
Wow.
had to get it written, recorded, mixed, and mastered by Friday. And I did it. I was so proud of myself. I got it
Dude,
done.
that's amazing. I'm still trying to figure out how to record properly.
Right? I'm a crazy person.
No,
So
no, no. I was super happy to find you on TikTok, and I definitely think you deserve more attention. You know, but
Thanks.
it's
Yeah,
that's a hard industry.
it
But
is.
once you're like in it, the
Yeah,
industry doesn't seem that big. So I'm
it's
looking at it
true.
from like a just from a photographer side of things.
Yeah,
You know, at some point I end up seeing repeat managers and labels and so on and so forth.
right.
And you're like, wow, it's not that big.
Honestly, Justin, the area that I've really been pressing into is the area of music licensing or sync licensing, which is like music on TV shows, films, ads, and things like that. And so that's the world that I've really delved into as an artist, less about labels and things, because I'm an independent artist. I can come and go as I please, and I like it that way. And I could make my own creative decisions. But the world that I'm really trying to get into is music licensing. And it's been really cool because I've been going hard at it for the last, 3 years. And I've had songs within the last 3 years on So You Think You Can Dance, Disney's Fairy Tale Weddings, Dancing with the Stars Junior, 2 songs on there. And then recently, I just had a song on MTV's 16 and Pregnant. And then I'm about ready to have my new song, Flame in the Night, is going to be on MTV's Teen Mom 2. And it's going to be the montage, like end of episode moment. So that means they're going to feature me as an artist on MTV. So
that is
this
exciting.
could be my moment, Justin. Okay. This could be my moment.
It totally could be. And for those that don't know, MTV actually used to play just music videos.
Don't you remember
all
that?
Day, and then you would wait an hour and your favorite video would come back on.
Yep.
And now it's a lot of TV shows, but it is so awesome that they're still bringing in, like the
music
indie
is still,
it's still there.
Yeah.
It's not what, I remember it as, but at least it's still there. But that's freaking awesome.
It is.
So happy for you.
I'm just like a little independent artist, right? Like a mom recording music from my home studio. And to be able to say that I have songs on TV shows is a huge deal.
Well, that's really cool because, when your kids get older,
right,
and you can be like, check this out, boop, and it's on TV. And that's the coolest feeling ever.
It is. Yeah.
Because it doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah. Even the fact that they'll get to listen to my music, you know what I mean? When they get older, I don't know. That's going to be cool. They could show their kids, their grandmas music. Oh gosh, I'm a grandma all of a sudden. I don't know how I put myself in the grave so fast, but
that's so funny. So all right, so we talked about a couple of things. Who do you use as inspiration? Like, who do you listen to? Or is it just like a whole bleh?
So much. I listen to so much music, and
blah
so
is an official term.
So much different music. I listen to like all genres everywhere, oldies to the new TikTok kids, So I don't know. I love music, all of it. So I'm always listening to music or trying to find new music. And that's why I do love TikTok so much, because you do find incredible artists. And
yeah, I found a lot of music that I hadn't heard before, like Suburban and you, and there's like a whole list. I made a whole playlist of just TikTok music.
Me too.
I love it. I've never heard before, and I'm like, God, these people need more attention,
right?
Or like bands I'd looked over, like Mother, and just different genres all over the place. And it's like, wow, yeah, there's a lot more to listen to. And so
it's fun. Yeah.
During this whole COVID thing, I was trying to teach myself to DJ, and I'm like, God dang, I have to get caught up on music in order to do anything with it.
I know.
So it's crazy. So hard to keep up with.
It is.
So I looked at TikTok to find out what's trending.
I know, me too. I'm like, well, that'll keep me in the know with the cool kids, I guess. I don't know.
That's funny.
I
So
know.
you said you're working on another song?
Oh, okay. So I don't think I told you this. I did a 12 songs in 12 months project last year. I'm doing it again this year just because the momentum of that project just like propelled me forward. And I was working with so many different producers, co-writers, and things. And then more people just started reaching out to me and like, hey, let's do a song together. Hey, I heard that song. You want to do a song with me? And I'm like, yeah, sure. And then all of a sudden, I've got all these songs, So I've kept going. And I'm writing, recording, and releasing a song a month now.
Wow.
So I think I even have like 5 on deck after this next song comes out. And I'm just gonna keep rolling them out. And I've even got some Christmas songs I'm working on, which is super fun. In
That's
April,
awesome.
I'm like, come on.
Christmas in April, that's fine.
I love it. I'm like, that's my vibe. I'm Christmas all the time,
Christmas
Like-
works and makes everybody happy. So
right? I'm like, so I've been in the holiday spirit, and it did rain, or not rain. It snowed here in Ohio. And I mean, this, you can't see me right now because I'm on a podcast, but there was at least like 4 inches of snow. So I took an opportunity. You can see it on my TikTok. I went out and I did a photo shoot, like a Christmas photo shoot, because I'm like, oh, thank you, weather, universe, for bringing me snow, because I'm working on Christmas songs and I needed a photo shoot. So I was just like,
that, and it brings
This
a
is
little bit more
perfect timing.
inspiration too. So
it was fun. I'm like, okay, this is great. For one day, I'll take the snow,
yeah, Utah did that. It was like it was a few weeks ago, but it was like 70 one day, and then the next day it snowed. I was like, huh.
I think that was the same day as us. It must have come over.
Yeah, and just kind of blown over and getting more snow.
It was crazy. So crazy. But yeah, inspiration, it comes in all sorts of forms and fashion. And I just can't stop. I'm like a train now that I can't stop writing and recording. I'm like,
well, that's good. Inspiration's hit.
yeah.
Can I ask you something personal? Because I think I saw it on Instagram that you were not well for a little bit of time.
Yes. Oh my goodness. I'm still not doing well. I had COVID back in February, and my son got it first. He's 10 years old. And I stayed with him because I was just like, he's 10. I don't want to leave him by himself. You know what I mean? And he does have a bit of asthma. So I just wanted to make sure he was going to be okay, and luckily I was there because he did have some breathing troubles, and I was able to get him some steroids. And so inhaler, and he came out of it pretty fast after that point.
Oh, thank goodness.
Yeah. But I ended up going down about 10 days later. It didn't hit me, or 6 or 10 days later. It didn't hit me till he was done with his quarantine. And it hit me hard. I mean, I had an 105-degree fever.
Holy cow.
I mean, it hit me really bad. I'm just going to say that without going into detail. Yeah. But I was very unwell, and it like made my heart do all kinds of weird things. So I ended up having to go to the ER to like monitor my heart, and the EKG and everything was showing like I was having some
like atrial
ventricle, like my ventricle was weakened. I'm like, what? I don't know what all this means, but you know what I'm talking about.
I have a pacemaker. I've had like 7 surgeries.
Yeah, it weakened my left ventricle.
Wow.
And I mean, I was in bad shape like coming out of it, and like I'm having like regurgitation in my heart and all these issues. And then come to find out, like I'm having hyperthyroidism too.
Wow.
From like the virus attacking my thyroid, and it's inflamed and causing hoarseness in my voice too when I sing. So I went to an endocrinologist for that. I have to go to an ENT for my voice. So I just got hit hard, and I'm trying to still keep the momentum that I've had going, but I'm gonna be real. It's been hard some days where I'm just like,
I believe it. But what I would
man,
do is I would use what you're feeling now and even your voice if you can, just kind of like as almost as like a musical documentary
yeah,
on it. I think that would be really cool. So it's like I do, my little podcasts or whatever, and even the parts that I don't like, I leave in just so,
yep,
just so I can document myself and just see how it went or whatever. But I'm glad you're kicking its butt. That's good. And you're making
yeah.
great music. So
Yeah,
that's wonderful.
I did kick COVID, but the after effects were rough for me. And not everybody, has that, but for whatever reason, I don't know, it hit me hard. And I think because I do have a history of heart
Mhm.
problems, in my pregnancy, I had congestive heart and lung failure. It was really scary.
Wow.
In my first pregnancy with my son, Trust. His name is Trust because I had to trust that everything was going to be okay. And so I think that really was a factor for me. Was I already had a weakened heart, and so COVID
Yeah,
just affected me,
I've stayed in
Yeah,
for like a year. Like I was talking
it's
to Dave
hard,
Hill earlier today, and I'm like, the first few months was great because
right?
I'm kind of an
Yeah,
introvert. And I was telling him, is like, even when I'm shooting concerts, I don't mind being on the other side of the barricade.
right. Yeah,
It's amongst people I don't do well with, but if I'm
yeah,
separated, I'm good.
yeah.
Um, so like the first few months I was cool with it. And then I think I started to lose my mind. I was like, I need people and I need
I
music.
know.
I need interaction. And, so I've been inside, but,
I feel the
luckily,
same way. Yeah,
even for an introvert, yeah, this is too much. So yeah, I'm glad it's finally starting to taper off and
me
there's
too.
vaccines. And I got a message from a buddy of mine. He's like, we've got a festival coming up in August. I'm like, yeah. I don't know who any of the people are, which is usually usually the case.
Yeah,
So the first festival I shot was like, I think it's about 12 years ago now. And I didn't know like any indie bands, but it was like it was Secondhand Serenade and it was Third Eye Blind, 311. So I knew of them, and then there were
right.
bunch
Yeah,
of other little bands. I was like, I've never heard of these people before. So it's kind of a similar situation where it's all mostly hip hop now,
yeah.
and the only headliners I know is Post Malone
Mm-hmm.
and I think Suicide Boys, and that's it. The rest of it, I have no idea who's there.
That is so crazy. I know. Music
But
is definitely,
but
yeah,
I'm excited for that. I'm a
yeah.
little apprehensive, a little nervous,
I know.
but
Yeah,
just gotta hope the vaccine does what it's supposed to do and keep
yeah.
us a little bit more healthy, and hopefully everybody doesn't lose their minds and do silly things.
I
So
know. That's what you can hope. And gosh, we need live music. I'm like, come on, guys,
it
do
is
do it for
therapy.
the live music.
It's therapy. I started listening to live music when in the 90s I was living
Yep.
up in Seattle. So we'd go downtown to Seattle and we would stand outside of a small venue and we'd
Yep.
listen to Pearl Jam or Nirvana or,
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
so it's like, that's always been a part of me. And it's like when I started getting into photography in the local place, it was something I needed. I didn't realize that I needed it.
Right.
And I think a lot of people are like, well, I have Spotify or I've got Tidal and I can listen to anything. And it's like, it's not the same.
It's the feeling of live music. I don't know. You can feel it in your chest and the connection with the audience. Or like from my perspective, like being able to connect with a live audience and hear their reaction in person. I don't know. It just hear them like singing along with you. I love doing sing-alongs whenever I play live. That's one of my favorite things, is having a moment where we can all sing together. It's so much
Are you
fun.
looking forward to live performances or?
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm trying to make it happen. I'm like, is there any outdoor opportunities, that I can jump in on? But it's just kind of tricky right now in Ohio,
Yeah.
with the weather.
Yeah, it sounds like
The
the weather's
weather's
got
so
a mind of
rough.
it's got a mind of its own.
Yes, I'm like, oh gosh, Ohio weather.
For me, it's
So
just trying
crazy.
to stay warm and my grass keeps growing. So I
Yeah,
guess I guess that's something, and I have to go weed.
yeah.
Basic household stuff. It's not
So
very
funny.
fun, but it has to be done.
Right. I know. Oh, so crazy. But yeah, I'm looking forward to things opening up and live music. And I think everybody is really, I mean, it's going to be different for sure. It'll be a new normal. That's what
Yeah.
I keep saying to myself is like, hey, it's not going to be probably exactly like it was, but it'll be a new normal and we'll adapt as we have, so far. So
Well,
we got to keep the music alive, people.
I look at it like, entertainers have to entertain.
Yeah.
So my friends that do acting, it's been tough on them, and
Oh, I
all my
know.
performer friends, they're just like, they'll do what they can. There's only so much you can do on Zoom.
Yeah, exactly. And I'll do live streams here and
Yeah.
there, but it's just not the same. I'm like, it's not the same. Oh my goodness. I do have a really cool opportunity that I get to go to this conference in Ventura, California that only 30 artists are invited to. And I was one of the artists. I'm like, what the heck?
That's so awesome.
For where I'm going to be able to pitch my music to music supervisors on TV shows, like for TV and film. So that's pretty huge. And that's in June. So I'm hoping to get like all vaccinated and ready to go for the trip. But that is something that's happening in person live, where I'm sure we'll be in masks and stuff, but who
Yeah.
cares? Like, at least we'll get that,
Sometimes you need
one-on-one
that human interaction. It doesn't matter how introverted you are. I miss like the smell, the smell
Yeah,
of the venue.
I know.
Sometimes it's
Yeah.
super gross smelling, but and then that kind of mixes
Yeah, the beer mixed with like
the beer
sweat.
mixed
Like,
with like
I
sweat
love it.
and
I love this
teenagers,
smell.
and then the backstage smell of we ordered, like Greek meatballs,
Yes.
for the green room. And
So
you just
great.
it's like it's
Everything's kind of sticky. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, your feet stick to the floor a little bit, and you're like, all right, I can do this.
it's a vibe though. I mean,
It
I live
totally
for
is.
it. I
It
live for
totally
it.
is.
I do bring my own microphone though now, because I learned after years of gigging, man, those microphones are gross. They stink.
Filthy. They stink so bad.
Yeah, I'm like, I bring my own microphone now. I'm like,
They're like, we got mics. No,
I'm good.
I've heard
I'm
several people
totally
like,
good.
no, I'm good. I got my own. We're gonna be good to go. I'm not touching
I didn't
that.
figure that out till like a few years ago, that I could bring my own microphone. I'm like, wow, Heather, get it together. Jeez.
Yeah, but you learn through trial and error.
Yeah. It's so true.
That's just how the learning process is, and it sounds like that you're constantly learning and you're
Yep.
evolving, and
Yeah.
you're getting attention, which is fantastic. So after June, I want to hear everything.
Okay.
Like this is the basis.
Okay.
This is your origin story here.
This is my origin story. Yeah.
This is the origin story, and I want to follow up so bad to find out how
it went.
on.
I know.
Absolutely.
It's crazy that I'm one of the 30. I'm just like, what?
Well, it's mind blowing, and a lot of people are like, 30 is a lot of people, but when you look at the big scope of things, there are thousands of artists,
tens of
thousands that
Yeah.
I'm on SoundCloud and I'm on this, and they're doing what you're doing. So to be picked, that's a huge deal.
I'm like, and then all of a sudden, the monster, the imposter syndrome starts coming in, like, am I really good? Can I do this? And it's like, gosh, you have to just keep moving forward. Don't look back. Don't look to the side at what other people are doing, and just focus on what your goals are and your dreams are. And don't worry about anyone else or anything else, and kill the lie in your mind that says you can't do it, because It's just, I figured out my inner critic it's there to try to protect you and keep you safe from getting hurt or experiencing failure, because you're like, of course your brain wants to protect yourself, but it's not always wise to listen to that. You know what I mean? Like, no, if I'm going to achieve this thing, I have to silence my critic for a minute. I'd be like, hey, I respect your opinion, inner critic, and I know
but I'm
that you're
gonna
trying
need
to
you
keep
be
me
quiet
safe,
now.
but I need to go live my dreams, dang it. I got stuff to do. Okay. I don't have time to listen to you right now.
Absolutely.
So
Sometimes you have to turn that off, and you are always your biggest critic.
I definitely am.
You know,
Ugh,
for you,
sucks.
it's music. For me, it's photography. You know, it's
Yeah.
like, how do I
In
stack up against all these
comparison,
other people? And you
yeah.
know,
Comparison is a thief, man. It'll
it's
rob
awful.
everything from you.
It's
Yeah.
awful. You know, maybe on your side, it's like, well, what mic are they using? Or, you know,
Yes.
what monitors do they have? Or, you know, what guitars, you know, being used now? And for me, it's, you know, cameras and lenses. And
Right.
so I decided to go completely the opposite. And I'll go to a garage sale and go buy a used lens, you know, and
So
just
cool. Like, do your own thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
you know, and be like, yeah, I don't know. You know, I envy them because they spent so much money, you know, and they do turn out a great product, but you know, it's a matter of honing your craft to your abilities, to what you want it to be.
Exactly. And you know what? If you can learn that at a young age, like, gosh, I was striving. I was looking this way and that way at all these other artists that were coming up around me, that I lost myself in it, that I didn't figure out who I was probably as an artist till I was 30 years old. And that's really sad. I'm like, dang it, Heather, should have got it together. But it's all a process and it's all a journey. And like, you learn along the way, of course. But um, I think oh gosh, I'm 34 years old now.
I'm
And
44.
I'm like, I'm 34 years old. And I'm like saying it super quietly into the microphone. But you know what? In my 30s, that's when I really came into myself and was like, okay, this is my direction. This is what I want to do. This is who I am. And I'm not gonna settle for anything else. You know what I mean? So with maturity, there's so much more freedom. And like, I love it. I love it so much.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to end with that because that was beautiful. So,
thank you. Thank you for having me, Justin.
I'm
so good talking to you.
I'm so glad we got our schedules worked out.
Yeah, I know it worked.
It worked
Friday
out
nights.
Great. So, yeah, whenever you find out news,
I will let you know.
Even if
I will share it with you.
5 or 10 minutes, you know, just a little snippet of an update, whatever, you know, it'd be great to have that little follow-up. But ladies and gentlemen, this has been Heather Evans. If you haven't checked her out, you need to go to Heather Evans Music at Spotify, or you're also on Tidal. I think you're pretty much on every streaming platform there is.
Everywhere.
Yep. She has a new single out called Monster.
Yep, the Monster.
It is banging. I would play it for you, but guess what? Zoom mutes it.
Oh, Zoom. Come on.
It's like, I have the artist here. I'm not stealing.
I know, right? Oh my gosh. That's hilarious because of the copywriting or whatever.
Yeah.
Good
yeah.
job,
So,
Zoom,
because
though.
I was testing it earlier and I was like, oh, I wonder if I could just, you know, play it out. And it's like, I think it plays like 5 seconds, like, nope, dead silence. I'm like, all right.
They're looking out for the artist, you know.
That's a good thing though. It benefits you.
It is good.
Oh, funny story. Did you see where Metallica was doing a live? They were doing a live stream.
Did they mute them?
They muted Metallica.
Oh my gosh.
It was like, I think it was for copyright.
Their own song. Yeah.
Yeah. But you know, you remember back in the day, Metallica was fighting Napster. I think it was the Napster.
One of the
it was Napster or I forget the other one. So it was just kind of funny. And then they played in, it was like some offbeat elevator music over the top, like James Hetfield.
That's hilarious.
So funny. But we're gonna wrap this up. I'm gonna go cook some dinner and probably go through some weeds while it's still daylight.
Yeah.
So, but you've been awesome. if you haven't followed Heather on TikTok, she's also
Do
at
it.
Heather Evans Music. You're everywhere. I've got a lot of respect for you. Keep up the hustle. It's paying off. You do great work. I'm really happy with the product. So I mean,
Thank you so much. Yeah.
you're
I'll keep
welcome.
going.
Do it. All right. And that's it, everybody.